Great to see you, Highlands. A lot of things have been going on during this time of social distancing. One of them is tensions within the household. And I know for this to be a fact because I have those same tensions in my own household. It's interesting when you lock yourself indoors with your family for days or weeks on end, sometimes the tensions run a bit high. So here's some words that I want to encourage husbands and wives to be thinking about. Spend some time in Ephesians and understand the roles and responsibilities of what it means to be a husband and a wife, maybe even to be a parent. But I want to encourage you as you look at these words, focus on Ephesians 5:25. Husbands, love your wives as Christ loves his church. And wives, I want you to look at verse 33. When you start to understand that the wife is to see to it that she respect her own husband. It's simply not possible unless your life is surrendered to the person of Jesus Christ. We start to look at these roles and responsibilities, and some of the criticisms and critiques that are coming out in our lives and in our marriage, none of them, in fact, ever negate your responsibility, husbands, to love your wife as Christ loves the church. It's important for us to understand that this love is not a noun, it's not a feeling, it's not an emotion. It's in fact a verb. It's a call to action. You're to love your wife sacrificially. You're to love your wife and see her as holy and blameless. And wives, you're to respect your husbands. But I have to tell you as husbands, nothing will ever change in your marriage until you learn to love your wife as Christ loves the church. You see, it hinges off of you. It's important that you humble yourself before the Lord and you follow him, trusting in him, depending upon him, and asking him for you to have the ability to see your wife through the lens of Christ, the woman that he sacrificed for, the woman that he gave his life for. He cleansed her sin. And your job, men, is to love her this way. Wives, you have an equally impossible task because your husband, in fact, sometimes acts in a disrespectful way. And sometimes he says things that may hurt or cut to the core. But I encourage you that this does not negate your responsibility to respect your husband. You see, we each have these difficult tasks that are before us. But I want to give you an acronym for you to work on your marriage. And the acronym is the word BEST. How to have the best marriage. The B is to bless each other, to be a blessing for each other, to serve one another, to sacrifice for one another. The E is to edify one another or to equip one another. We're not supposed to let any unwholesome words come out of our mouth, so we should pause and reflect and ask God in that moment that we're feeling anxiety or we're feeling anger, and we ask our Father, give me words that edify and build up and equip rather than tear down and destroy. The S is that we are to share our lives. This sometimes will require us to share or confess our sin against one another, to seek forgiveness, to remove the log from our own eye, and to go after the speck in our wife. But this is going to require, again, you men, to love your wife as Christ loves the church, to see her as pure and holy, to be blameless, and to sacrifice for her. You do this through sharing your life with her. And the T is to touch. Both physically and metaphorically, we are to touch our lives and our wives in a way that is glorifying and honorable to God. We touch them spiritually. We touch them emotionally as well as physically. Do not confuse this best with rights or things which I am owed because I'm the husband or because I'm the wife, but sacrifice for one another. Submit to one another and be encouraged that God is in control. I love you guys, and we'll see you sometime soon.